All right, Danny, what did your Bears prove with the win?
That was a sigh of relief for me last night, boys.
The panic tweets are too much, dude.
I'm so
Caleb, do something! Like, settle down, you're stressing me out.
Well, then you may as well have been watching with me because I was stressed. I was like high strung. Because that was, listen, it's early in the season, I understand that. But that was playoff win adjacent for the Bears last night. Like, they lose that game, season's over. I'm going to be like fighting to get them into the D block of the show, right? Like they would be 2-3, tiebreakers, NFC playoff picture, coming out of a bye, 3 takeaways in the game. Like, that would have been a devastating loss. And we'll talk Caleb in a second, I'm sure. We always talk quarterbacks. But to me, that was the signature Ben Johnson game. That was just like, he got his signature win. The Bears completely buy in. Because I said it to you guys last week, like, are they going to get better? Out of a bye, are they going to get better? Am I going to see signs of coaching? And I thought across the board, the penalties were still there. Caleb was still inconsistent. But the things that he set out to improve, they hadn't been running the ball, right? Like, we can show you all this stuff. They hadn't been running the ball, 26th in the NFL. They had their best running game of the season. Troy Aikman at the beginning of the broadcast, he's like, if they're going to move the ball, they're going to have to do it through the air. DeAndre Swift had his best game as a Bear. Like, they seemed like they solved the rushing attack against the top 10 rushing defense. Then the Bears were literally the worst rush defense in the NFL, and the Commanders were literally the best yards per carry offense in the NFL, and they stonewalled them. They held their running back to 3.5 yards per carry. Jayden Daniels didn't kill him on the ground. Like, marked improvement, rush offense and rush defense. And this, every Bears fan just can feel it, but then I can also back it up by the numbers. It's just a game the Bears always lose. And under Matt Eberflus, they literally were the worst in the NFL in one-score games, and they came out and figured out a way to win the game. So Caleb, Jayden, I wanted it for Caleb for all those narrative reasons and national stuff, and we can talk about it. But, like, the playoff hopes are alive, and Ben Johnson actually made an impact on the team.
Yeah, it was a good win for all the reasons you said. I don't think Caleb, like, he was inconsistent.
He missed the 2-point conversion throw.
Yeah,
He wasn't great.
But he was steady, and he didn't try to. I mean, he wasn't spectacular, which I kind of liked. He can make the spectacular plays.
Yes,
but I like the fact that he was seemingly content just to, play on time and get the ball to the playmakers. Like you said, Swift was terrific. I don't think he did anything, Caleb, to make me think he's better than Jayden. Like, right now, I firmly feel like Jayden is better. Now, I am willing, because they're both so young in their second year, and we see what happened with C.J. Stroud.
Yeah.
That who knows who will end up being the best in this class. Right now, I would say probably Drake or Jayden. But Caleb can be in that mix. Like, maybe he'll get going eventually. But
go ahead.
Right now, though, it's clearly Jaylen, even with the 2 bad turnovers he had last night. But it was a good win for the Bears. And like you said, it keeps them in the mix. They got their next game, they should win. I mean,
Saints, Bengals, Ravens, Giants are
so
their
they
next
should
4.
be able to run off a couple more wins before they get to the Ravens. But
well, no, is it Saints?
Saints, Ravens, Bengals.
And
Giants,
so what I do think is, they're at home against the Saints. The Saints are better than a 1-5 team, but they're still a 1-5 team. And so that's a game, losing that game undoes a lot of this.
Yeah.
But you win it, and they're a favorite. Now you're 4-2 facing a Ravens team that we'll see what they look like. And for Caleb, this is the stretch where he can start putting up real numbers. The Saints defense can get got, the Ravens defense exclusively gets got, and the Bengals are bad at everything at the moment. And so you go 2-1 in this stretch, and all of a sudden you're 5-3, and you're feeling good about those things. I understand, just to give you a little context on Danny's tweets, this is almost a year to the date of this guy literally dropping to his knees in pain when these teams played in a standalone national TV game and the Hail Mary happened.
I'm really sorry
and
you had to witness that.
That essentially ended the Bears season.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's an overstatement to say this had not playoff pressure, but if the Bears lose and they fall to 2-3, the Commanders lose, they fall to 3-3. They are in 12th in the NFC. Right now, the Commanders are in 12th place. Like, they are going to be fighting uphill the rest of the year because of the time missed by Jayden and this loss because the NFC is so congested. The Bears would have been in even worse shape. So I agree with that piece of it. I think that Jayden was unbelievable last year. Jayden has, in my opinion, up to this point this season, not been. Part of that's because he got hurt, but he played away last night. That makes me worried. That's not going to be rare. Last night, I was consistently worried he was going to get hurt, and I don't think if we're elevating him, or he elevated himself into the conversation of the best quarterbacks in football, the best quarterbacks in football, they lost that game because of those turnovers.
Yeah.
And if the game were flipped and Caleb had a lead and Caleb mishandled a snap and they lost because of it, it would be endemic of a bigger issue. And so Jayden, I understand, has earned a benefit of the doubt in that regard because of how well he played last year. But I think that the best quarterback from this class is going to be an ongoing discussion because 5 weeks ago, there was no argument for Drake May after week 1.
No.
There was less of it.
Now
There's
he's
more
like
of an
Dan
argument.
Marino.
Right. Yeah. I mean, there's more of an argument for Caleb in this moment than there was for Drake May 5 weeks ago. Because
But I would argue it's a two-man race right now. Now, I'm not saying Caleb can't get in it, but right now it would be Drake and Jayden.
All I would say
voted
is
now.
Yes, I agree with you. I would say, though, and I know I default to the eye test, Caleb's natural talent is right there on par with Drake May's natural talent, which is spectacular. Like I do think like
Caleb doesn't look as smooth and comfortable as a lot
He's
of
still not completing
quarterbacks
enough
to me.
passes. Just raw, like.
the completion percentage is
Yeah.
lower than it should be for sure. But like, I don't know. 2 plays I could show you from last night where we would come in today saying Caleb Williams had a monster game, and I don't think it's that much of a margin for error. The illegal formation call on the left tackle that takes the touchdown
It's a great play. Great
off
throw.
the board. This is a great throw in a great spot, late. Him and Romadunze are developing.
great throw.
It's a great play. And this is a very questionable call. I mean, they were
tell that
questioning.
to Juwan Taylor.
Yeah,
Going
no
got 30
doubt.
penalties
No,
on it.
and they're making it a point of emphasis.
Yeah.
I get it. This isn't a blame the refs thing, although they were bad last night. But that was a great throw. He doesn't get credit with the touchdown. And then late in the game, the throw to Zacchaeus backed up again. This is going to be a 97-yard touchdown or maybe a 50-yard completion.
Yeah.
It's the fastest guy in the field in stride with no one on the left third of the field. If we came in today and Caleb had 2 passing touchdowns, 330 yards,
But
and a
we
rushing
can
touchdown.
probably do that most games with a quarterback.
But not
The
the
drops.
overturn. The overturn
thing-
one I think is
I
more
mean,
fair than that one.
Like
But
with
that-
Mahomes, we could say if Kelsey catches that ball against Philadelphia,
Yeah, let's say
they win
I
that
agree.
game. You
That's
know
what
what I'm
I'm
saying?
just talking about, though, to your point of how Drake May 5 weeks ago wasn't in the conversation. Those 2 plays are
I can add
definitely.
Drake also had a touchdown taken off the board.
Yeah, can I ask you a question? Because you.
Yeah, but then I got to ask Danny a question
Okay, then you go. You're the host.
because I sit next to Danny in my shared office upstairs, and I don't know what was going on because I also listened to this Ben Johnson post game in the locker room, and I think because I'm like a Patriots guy, I'll listen to Mike Vrabel once and be like, wow, that's cool. The vibes are good. He had it on repeat like a song that he liked.
Had what on repeat?
I'm not joking around.
Are we
I was going to
playing
be
it?
like, no, I can't hear it another time. I don't know if you guys were doing like a social video, but like the vibes, honestly, in that locker room was something. They have like chants. They're like a summer camp.
Good, better, best. When your good gets better until your better gets best.
So you really-
Bears on 3, 1, 2, 3, go
But you're
Bears. I mean,
starting
I may have memorized it.
You're starting to believe in the Bears in a real way. It's a long way of saying.
Absolutely.
'Cause they believe in them.
And that's why I want it. Again, Caleb Jayden is like the sexier conversation, but they are 110% bought in on Ben Johnson, and I really think he's changed the culture in Chicago.
Just listening to it like a song.
It was
It's like,
amazing.
run it back.
I'll send it to you, bro.
It's all right.
I'll send it to you.
All right, can you save your question for maybe the post-game show? Time now for Top 10 Tuesdays.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
We could call it Danny's Dozens, but it's Top 10 Tuesday. And before I give the 10th best team in the NFL, guys, I'll just say the Panthers shut out the Falcons, who beat the Bills. No one knows anything. I'm not sure anyone's good other than the team that's coming up at number 1. We'll get to that in just a minute. But coming in at number 10, holding on by a thread, my Los Angeles Chargers. Justin Herbert had another amazing play that 3 guys on the planet can make. To Ladd McConkey, we'll show it to you here. But you could put 8 guys designated to return from IR, but you don't get extras when they come back. The Chargers already have 7 on the list. Like, they have just been decimated by injury, and this guy is keeping them afloat almost single-handedly. As long as he's healthy, I think they're going to be
beat the Dolphins.
Yeah.
You become a top 10 team.
All right,
Beat the Dolphins last second win.
They're hanging on.
Right.
They stayed in the top 10. It's been 2 weeks since I've done this. Coming in at number 9, the Green Bay Packers. I'm just not impressed by what I'm seeing. The talent is undeniable. The ceiling, when it looks right, is great. They've got 4 sacks in their last 3 games. They've been outscored in the second half in 3 straight games. They are wildly inconsistent. Their best might be as good as anyone, but we don't see it that often. Coming in at number 8, the Rams. I was questioning what Matt Stafford was going to look like at this age with that back behind this offensive line, and he has made me look foolish because he is off to his best start since he took them to the Super Bowl. I mean, those numbers across the board out of the gate are ridiculous. It's been a tough schedule. It's a very tough division. We'll see how it shakes out. But, like, if you've got Matt Stafford, everyone's All-American, playing at that level, they're going to be in a lot of games. I know a lot of people have the Colts higher than 7 because of just
Record.
Exactly. But the only team that they've beaten that I would consider for the top 10 and they didn't make it are the Broncos. So it's an inflated record based on the opponents, but they do deserve for us to point out how good their offense has been. First in points, first in rushing touchdowns, fewest sacks, 4th in yards, 5th in passing. Like, we're going to get a chance to see it as their schedule gets tougher as it goes, but they firmly deserve to be a top 10 team as of now. Coming in at number 6, you can make an argument for them to be lower because the vibes are awful, but I'm still giving a little bit of a benefit of the doubt to the champs. I don't understand how they could be a team that had 27 in the second half against the Rams and or 26 in the second half against the Rams and 27 second half points the rest of the year. Like, we've seen them be great.
Really?
Yeah. They have scored 27 second half points
Outside
of that Rams game where they scored 26 in the second half.
That's wild.
It's an insane level of inconsistency from a team that's like, we like the running back, we like the quarterback, we in theory like the coach, we like the line. I don't get it, but I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt for one more week. Coming in at number 5, Seattle is wildly impressive. You lose to Tampa by 3. You got 3 road wins already. Your 2 losses are by a total of 7 points, tied with Detroit for the best point differential in the NFC. What on there doesn't scream like offense, defense, point differential, the road record? I just continue to be impressed, and I was dead wrong on Sam Darnold. This, I'm sure there will be some disagreement on. I give you the benefit of the doubt, Buffalo. If you have been good for multiple years, and there's a theme here at the top for multiple years, I'm going to drop you at a slower rate than the other teams. But I cannot ignore that your 4 wins are against teams that have a total of 3 wins total. So that part of it is undeniably not good, but I am choosing to believe that this is a speed bump for Buffalo. Josh Allen will stop turning the ball over, and they'll get back to being the dominant offense that they've been. Coming in number 3, coming off the loss to the Chiefs, the Detroit Lions, similar thing. They have been dominant for 3 straight years on the offensive side of the ball. They ran into the Chiefs. That was a bad spot. Unbelievable opportunity for them against, coming up at number 2, Bucs-Lions this week. Cannot wait for the game. Tampa, I don't fully understand, honestly, how the offense is doing this. No Mike Evans, no Chris Godwin, no Bucky Irving. Emeka Egbuka gets hurt in the game, and it doesn't matter.
That's how they're doing.
Because the should-be favorite for MVP, the Bake Show, and narrative-wise, he absolutely would get it if it was voted on today. The guy is just unbelievable. All the one-score victories, all the respect in the world, and I cannot wait for Bucs-Lions. It's the marquee game of this week. And then, yes, Nick, at number 1, I had like a moment of weakness. I'm
3 and 3.
I'm going to call it a moment of weakness. Yeah, 3-3, no doubt. Who on this list?
Tiers hasn't even come out yet. The Chiefs are number one in herd hierarchy and number one in Danny's top 10. Tiers might have them lower. I don't know.
Listen,
we'll see.
Obviously they're 3-3, but who 2 through 10 would you pick to beat them tomorrow?
The two teams that did beat them.
But
You would pick the Chargers tomorrow to beat the Chiefs?
Well, tomorrow they're a different team because they're injured. But
What about Jacksonville?
I would not pick
They just beat
Jacksonville.
them. Wasn't that
if
long
they played,
ago.
they would.
They played, yes, but I tend to not overreact to one game in the NFL for a team that has the body of work of the Chiefs.
After what? Oh, okay. I was gonna say after what you just said about the Bears.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, no,
Flying
Ben
high on
Johnson's
the
arrived.
Chiefs a little bit.
Ben
No,
Johnson.
look,
Drew, listen, it's a perfect top 10.
I agree. Look, there's no one definitive team you would say is playing way better than anybody. The Chiefs have the track record where you give them the benefit of the doubt, and they've got a few really good wins. So it is what it is. I think the Seahawks, though, too high.
Oh.
You said they played Tampa Bay close.
That was a great
Everybody
game.
plays Tampa Bay close. The Jets played
that's true,
Tampa
too.
Bay close. And I like Tampa Bay. I'm not arguing where they're at. I'm just saying the Seahawks are 0-2 or 1-2 at home. You gotta protect home. If you're the 5th best team in the league, I think you gotta protect home better. One of those losses was to San Francisco, which even in the first game of the
week
season
one.
still has some injury issues. Even
But they
then.
still had Purdy
They
there.
had Purdy then, and he made heroics at the end of the game. But I'm just saying, I think you could argue any of those teams below the Seahawks, I might take over them. I'd probably take the Rams over them. I definitely take the Packers over them. I get Philly with the bad vibes that they're having. Indy, I'm not totally sold on yet. I probably would take your Chargers over them, though.
It's just like the Packers lose to Cleveland. That's worse than anything on Seattle's resume. Philly gets blown out by the Giants. Worse than Seattle. You lose week 1 to San Francisco by 4. You lose to Tampa by 3. They've been wildly consistent.
All right. Danny, so it seems like, as you said, one of your themes is you are incorporating into this list track record. Teams
yeah.
that year in, year out
right.
show you who they are.
Yeah.
Why does that not apply to the Chargers? Because their track record is fraudulence. Their track record is
Well, they
that
beat the
year
team at
in,
number
year.
one.
Well, so hold on. So did Jacksonville, who's not on there, who should be in that 10 spot. Jacksonville beat the Chiefs just like the Chargers did. Jacksonville, in addition to beating the Chiefs, beat San Francisco and Houston, with their losses coming to Bengals with Joe Burrow, so that's different than the Bengals now, and Seattle have number 5. The Chargers beat Denver, who's not on your list, along with Miami and Vegas, who wouldn't be on your list if it was 25 teams deep.
That is true.
And their losses are to the Giants and to Washington. And again, it's like, well, I trust one quarterback more than the other. Should you? I don't know. They played each other in a playoff game. One guy melted down. The other guy, the 4th greatest playoff comeback in NFL history. New York finished 7th in MVP voting. Everybody knows this.
Okay,
so,
you say that. Do you actually trust Trevor Lawrence more than Justin Herbert?
No, I
Okay,
don't.
no.
But it's
Then
not.
That's
It's
why
not.
he's number 10.
No. But he's not number 10. The team is. And it's this weird math we do about the Chargers. If they're the 10th best team, then I guess the expectation is they'll overcome the injuries. That there's no excuses. It's not the IR thing. Because I agree, a healthy Chargers team could have been really good. But I don't think they are. I didn't think they were good this week against Miami. I thought that was an ugly, tough win. I don't think they're one of the 10 best teams in football. I don't think right now they're better than Jacksonville.
Quentin Johnson will be back. Joe Alt will be back. Hampton will be back. Khalil Mack will be back. Like, they are figuring out ways to win when a huge percentage of your team is decimated. Makes me impressed with it.
Also the Dolphins.
It was the Dolphins.
It's okay. Yeah, it's confusing. If the Bills aren't good, the Patriots aren't good. So I need the Bills to be good. I'm a little bit,
Transitive property.
but
of
I'm
the NFL.
worried that the Bills actually aren't good.
So
Who is
why?
good, though? At that point, it becomes who is good in the AFC.
No, but the only reason I'm worried about, like, the Bills scored 41, 30, 30, and 31 twice. Those were against the teams, Ravens, Jets, Miami's, and Saints, with the 32nd, 28th, 29th, and 25th worst scoring defenses. So, like, all right, and I hate to, it's such a small sample size, it's hard to do who have you beaten already. That being said, the Colts remind me a little bit, granted it's just like an Indiana bias, like maybe the Colts are the Pacers. We're like, oh, and Daniel Jones, maybe you're Halliburton. And like everyone just kind of works together. And maybe the Bills are Giannis. Like, Giannis,
Wait.
unbelievable.
Write this down.
Oh, with Josh Allen, but
I mean,
the rest of the team's not there.
yeah.
But
Daniel Jones,
what
Tyrese
else?
Halliburton, I'm
but-
not hearing that. But
But do you like Josh Allen as Giannis?
yes.
Okay, then
think
let's
that's
stick
a
with
good-
that one. Like,
Josh Allen needs a ring.
Shakir has 25. Who's the number one target? Shakir?
You love Keon Coleman because Deion
Keon
Dawkins
Coleman's
told you to.
40th in the league.
I
in
told
catches.
you that was going to happen.
Shakir's 25th in league in catches.
They need
Kincaid's got the most yards of his targets in play.
Veteran.
He's 45th in the league in yards. So, like, outside of Josh Allen doing Superman stuff, if
He's
he
been
drops a little
Superman
bit,
for the last 5
180.
years, though.
180 yards. But you need a little more balanced team, perhaps.
They definitely do.
A little Giannis-y, that's all.
Yeah, no,
And I
they're-
love it.
they're
Maybe
deep.
sign his brother. Does Josh Allen have a brother?
Maybe.
Put him on the team.
Yeah, the Bucks signed both his brothers. Yeah. So we were just talking about this a bit in Top 10 Tuesday. I tend to, if you've been good for a long time in the NFL, they say the year starts over, every team's new and all that, but like if you've been good consistently,
Right.
I tend to give you more of a benefit of the doubt and say, blip, little bit of turbulence this 2-game stretch here for Buffalo. But did you think the Bills got exposed last night by Atlanta, Coach?
No, I don't think they got exposed. I think the problems that they've had all season long just got reinforced. So they were 28th against the run going into the game. Now they're 30th against the run. Bijan Robinson, what was it, 19 for 170. He had the longest rush of the season. That's a problem. Drake London had 10 catches.
He's amazing.
Yeah, so he has 10 catches for 158 yards. So they have two guys offensively that are able to light him up. And Buffalo hasn't figured out a way to effectively stop the run, which puts a ton of pressure on the offense and Josh to try to be Superman every single game. And that's hard to do. And the other thing is when a team can run the ball, they can also keep you off the field. And now you're thinking, my possessions are limited. I've got to make a play on this possession. You start forcing it, and that's where the turnovers come, which he was so good with last season.
Yeah, I thought the Falcons laid out the blueprint on how to beat the Buffalo Bills, and that's controlling the edges, keeping Josh Allen in the pocket, having a heavy run game on deck, and take timely shots. And on top of what Coach is saying, force Josh Allen to play hero ball. I think the interesting that comes to me after the loss is it questions how really good are the Buffalo Bills? Because if you look at the losses they've had, it's only against the Patriots and Falcons, right? Both are good teams, but the wins are against Baltimore, Dolphins, the Saints, and the Jets. All those teams have horrible records. So when you look at this team from the sky view, you're like, man, are the Buffalo Bills really that good, right? Because they've only beat up on the little brother. They haven't been able to step in the ring and beat up on contenders who are legit contenders. Like I consider the Falcons a contender in the NFC, right, in South. So, and the Patriots are emerging. So overall, man, I just think right now the Buffalo Bills, I'm shaken by who they are and what they can do well.
So again, I give them the benefit of the doubt. Like, they haven't lost 3 games in a row, Buffalo, since Josh Allen's rookie year. So I expect them to beat Carolina. Like maybe I'll have egg on my face for that, but like when you have the MVP of the league, a team that's been in AFC Championship games, a team that's won their division 5 years in a row, I just tend to believe that they will figure it out. Now, eventually all good things must end, right? Like I understand that at some point their reign will be over, but Josh Allen had a huge turnover problem for a big percentage of his career. And then it went away, and he became the MVP of the league. And so it feels like these last couple of games where he started turning the ball over again, I will be very surprised if 5 weeks from now we're still talking about Josh Allen turnovers.
Yeah, now, thankfully, last game, the first turnover didn't lead to points, and really the second turnover, they're down by 10, so it's like, I think it was a minute and 9 seconds left, so they would have scored a touchdown, still had to get an onside kick. So putting those into context, they're not as bad as some of his turnovers have been historically. And with playing Carolina, depends which team shows up.
That's
because
true.
they can be really good and really.
They won 30-0 against Atlanta, who just beat Buffalo.
Yeah, and then they got blown out by New England. So whichever Panthers team shows up, Buffalo could have their hands full there.
But to your MVP point, what showed last night is that the Buffalo Bills can't continue to ride Josh Allen's cape, right? They need more. I understand Joshua Palmer was out, Dalton Kincaid has been down. But it seems like they need more to be that offense that averaged 30 points a game last year. I'm waiting for that offense to show up.
Yeah, we saw it week 1, right? We see against Baltimore. We've seen their offense early. And I don't know, I'm watching that game and like man, Josh Allen's taking a lot of sacks. When's the last time Josh Allen took 4 sacks in a game? Week 1 of 2023.
Oh, wow.
Like, it was a weird game. I'd imagine if you're a Buffalo Bills fan watching that, you're like, wait, what team is this?
Atlanta was coming off the bye, so they did have the extra week to prepare.
helps.
So I think that helps. They are a team that's a heavy pressure team, where the volume of pressure from them versus other teams significantly more. So I would imagine they probably had a pretty good plan going into it. Brought multiple blitzes that they were able to practice over 2 weeks. Little bit of the benefit of the doubt on that as well.
But to Danny's point, their brand, the Buffalo Bills brand, is dominating the trenches. On both sides, they got bullied last night. That's not something we're used to seeing.
Yeah, they want to play from out in front because their strength is obviously the offensive side of the ball. Let's go to an obvious now AFC contender, Kansas City. Mahomes and the Chiefs, well, they beat the Lions 30-17, and they bullied the bullies, and then bullying was the talk after the game. It was weird. 4 touchdowns from Mahomes, fastest quarterback to throw for 300 yards. So a lot of the theory about why the light show, as this show has deemed it, went away was like, oh, they lost Tyreek Hill. Mm-hmm. But also, Patrick Mahomes was getting hit a lot. Like, last year they played 4 different guys at left tackle. And so far this year, they were trying to figure it out with Simmons, who didn't play in this game, to Moore's credit, the kid they brought over from San Francisco. But the last 3 weeks, Mahomes hasn't been hit. Part of it is Xavier Worthy coming back, no doubt. Part of it is the opponents, all that. But if Patrick Mahomes can stand in that pocket and trust that the 5 guys in front of him are not going to put him on his back, he's going to pick you apart. And I thought that's what we saw Detroit make Lamar Jackson and that Ravens offense look confused and contain him and made him look average. And so that same team came into Arrowhead, and the Chiefs were like, oh no, we'll pick you apart and it won't matter. And I feel like it's because even though Simmons wasn't playing in the game, he felt like, I trust the guys in front of me, and that's been the difference for the Chiefs the last few weeks.
Yeah, I do believe so. I think protection helps, but I also think one of the things when you talk about Patrick Mahomes from an elite level, he's been able to, I think, slow himself down and rely on what's around him, right? I think that's what good quarterbacks are able to do. They use the pieces around them and they elevate them, and I think that's what we've been able to see. I think if you was to answer the question right here, are they a scary team? To me, they're not. To me, they're inconsistent because they lost to the Jags last week, right? And then they show up and they knuckle up against the Lions. What concerns me about the Chiefs moving forward is their defense because it's just spotty, right? And when you talk about the third quarter against the Lions, you watch Jared Goff go 8 for 8 and knife through that defense and score a touchdown with Sam Laporta. Then the fourth quarter, the defense stood up and shut them down. So I'm not worried about the offense. Defensively is what makes me say, are they scary? Do they travel well? And can they get it done?
The thing that concerns me about this team is a week ago we're talking about the penalties. There's 13 penalties. So now they clean it up this week. They have no penalties, and I know some people felt like that was overkill on the officials' part, the fact that they could go through a whole
Well, we know what happens at home with the Chiefs. I mean, it's been going on for some time.
But it's the no penalties, no turnovers, but a week ago we're talking about a very different team.
Yes.
So to be scary, there needs to be a level of consistency that we really haven't seen from Kansas City this year. And Kansas City last year, as many close games as they won, and people had concerns about that, they found ways to win, and they found a lot of different ways to win, and they didn't make mistakes that hurt them, which is not where they've been this season so far. So they're trending in the right direction. In terms of protection, have they solved that problem? I'm not convinced they've solved that problem.
Let me just say, and this is a whole other topic unto itself, but if the Chiefs are inconsistent, who is consistent?
Oh, the Bucs.
The Bucs?
Okay.
Okay, but I mean,
Tampa Bay, I'd say, is probably a scarier team right now.
100%.
I mean, all those one-score wins, and all those injuries.
But you know what you're getting.
Okay.
On both sides of the ball.
Okay, fair enough. Fine. That's one.
There you go.
There's just not many teams anyone could argue to choose ahead of them.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get more from the show and to check out clips from other shows on FS1.